For the pumpkin rainbow project, the materials that you will need are a pencil. This is optional, but a circle or an oval shaped object to trace. So if you feel like you might have a hard time drawing a pumpkin shape, find a circle or an oval and you'll see in my video that you can use it to help you draw a pumpkin. You're gonna need some crayons and then some sort of coloring material. So maybe you choose paint as your coloring material, maybe you choose markers, color pencils, things like that. Okay? And there's a couple different ways you can do this pumpkin rainbow, but I'm gonna show you the way I did it. So this is the kind of helping way. So if you want to use a circle, you are going to start at the top middle of your paper, trace the circle, and then go ahead and add your little stem. And then you want to add 3 kind of curved lines inside. And we want to repeat this 7 times. So you should have 7 pumpkins in total. But I wanted to make mine kind of going into a rainbow. So if you noticed, I did one kind of like a little bit lower to the side, drew my stem, my 3 little lines inside, and then to make it even, I moved over onto the other side and repeated the same thing. And I'm going to keep repeating this down on both sides. You'll see. And I'm trying to make a curved arching shape like a rainbow. But if you don't want to make it a rainbow shape, that is totally fine. You could do a straight line, or you could just put your pumpkins kind of random on your paper. But we are going to try to make the pumpkins in the order of a rainbow. Okay? So that was that version, and then this is the version that I drew out my pumpkins, and they're all different sizes and shapes, which is totally fine. I tried my best, but same thing, I kind of went into a rainbow arching shape or line, if we will. So then the next thing is tracing over our pumpkins now in the order of the rainbow. So those of you who had art with me last year should know the order of the rainbow. If not, remember Roy G. Biv. Um, so we have red, and you can see I'm just taking crayons of the color that we need. And I'm tracing around the outside, I'm tracing around the lines in the middle, and then I did a brown stem. But you can really pick whatever color stem you want. And you can see I'm doing the correct order so far. We have red, we have orange, we have yellow, we have green. Next comes blue, and I have a couple different types of blue, so I wanted to make sure I found the right one. And then the next part is a little bit tricky because the next color is indigo. So I'm testing up here at the top of my paper some different color purples, or I'm looking for indigo. So if you know how to read, obviously you can just read the wrapper on the crayon and look for indigo. It starts with an I. Indigo is more of a bluish purple. So I was testing out these 2 purples, and I was looking to see the one that looks a little bit more purple blue. So I can tell here that this one is my indigo because it looks a little bit more on the blue side. And then at the end will be violet, which is more of a regular purple. So I'm going to take my indigo. Remember, indigo is our blue purple. Same thing, tracing it, doing our little pumpkin stem. And then violet is our last color of the rainbow. Tracing around, get those inside lines. You could really be as creative as you want with tracing and whatnot. And then same thing here. I'm going to fast forward this because I am essentially doing the same thing. So I'm doing my red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And then the next part is using some sort of coloring material. So for a coloring material to fill in these pumpkins, I'm choosing watercolor paint. You could stick with your crayons, you could switch to color pencils, markers, but I love painting, so I switched to painting. So those of you who know how to paint, remember you always want to kind of wake up your watercolor paint with some water. So I had some water on my paintbrush. I dipped it in my red and kind of woke up my watercolor paints, filling it in careful, trying to stay inside the lines. And then I'm going to wash my paintbrush off right now to get all of that red paint out of my paintbrush's hair because I don't want it to mess up my orange paint and I don't want it to mess up my orange pumpkin. So I'm gonna really try to get all of the red off of the hair of my paintbrush, and I'm going nice and slow. This isn't a fast forward speed, but I am taking my time and always washing my paintbrush between every color, trying my best to stay inside my lines. So far it's been pretty nice because I have all of my regular colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. But next comes indigo, and I don't really have normal indigo on my paint palette. So I need to make indigo. So remember I said indigo is kind of a bluish purple color. So I am going to take my blue and I'm going to put a little bit on my pumpkin and then I'm going to wash it off, grab some purple, and then kind of mix them on my pumpkin together to make that indigo color. And then you might have to keep going back and adding some purple to really make it that indigo color, but obviously you can kind of work and get what you get. And then the last one is violet, and you should have a violet on your paint palette if you have watercolor paints at home. Okay? And then you have your rainbow, and then the next step is kind of up to you as to what you want to do. If you want to, oh, so I'm just going to do my other one quick, and I'll just go fast forward. This one, same thing. And then the last step, I wanted to add some kind of curling vines connecting my pumpkins all around. You could choose to use your crayons, color pencils, markers to do this step. And they don't have to be green vines. They could be kind of rainbow or however you choose. And if you don't want to add vines, that's totally fine too. Maybe you add grass or some flowers or the sky. You can be as creative as you want. And then I'm gonna add some kind of open little things there to add a little bit of leaves. Um, but again, this is where you can be kind of creative on your own. Okay? Don't forget to send me some pictures if you are all done with this and if you had some fun with it. That way I can share it with the school and some of your teachers and classmates. All right, bye.